This is a tiny Christmas inflatable story. So it starts with a woman named Mary, and Mary is going to have a baby. She gets word from an angel to let her know that it's going to happen, which would have freaked me out. I think it would freak most people out. But Mary just has faith in God and sings a song of worship. Crazy, right? But she's supposed to get married to this guy named Joseph. Now, if I'm Joseph, I think I'd want to call things off. And that's exactly what he was planning to do. Except God also let Joseph know what was up. So Joseph had faith in God too. Pretty incredible, right? So Mary and Joseph were sure enough married. But soon after they were married, there was going to be a census. A census, that's when they count all the people. So there's going to be a census, and to be in the census, they had to travel. We don't know if they traveled with a donkey from the Bible, but I like to imagine them traveling with a donkey. So they travel to Bethlehem, which is where Joseph's family was from. So that's where he had to go to be counted. But when they get to Bethlehem, there's no room for them with any of their relatives. There's just not a room for them to stay in. So they end up basically staying in the barn out back. Not like a wood barn, probably like a cave-type barn, but it's where all the animals would have been. And that's where the baby Jesus is born. Not with rich people, but out there in a barn. I bet Mary all the time told him to remember to keep the door shut, even though he was born in a barn. Anyway, back to our story. So Jesus is born, and the first people to see Jesus are actually not the people you'd expect. You see, there's some shepherds in a field nearby. Shepherds weren't really the top of society, and they probably would have smelled because they kept sheep all day. But an angel appears to these shepherds who are out in a field just minding their own business and watching their sheep. And the shepherd tells them that nearby in Bethlehem, this baby has been born that is Jesus, that is Christ the Lord. And so the shepherds, after the angels sing a song, they go to see what's up and see the new baby Jesus. We've got this beautiful scene now. We can imagine our angels, and there's a star in the sky. We've got the baby Jesus and Mary and Joseph and the shepherds, and that is the night that Jesus was born. But the story is not over. Mary and Joseph, they travel back home, and all is well for a while, except there are 3 people still coming to see the baby Jesus. Scratch that. We don't actually know that it's 3 people, but we like to imagine it was because they bring, you guessed it, 3 gifts. And these guys, these wise men, these 3 kings, these magi, are traveling and they're following a star to see the baby Jesus. Now, along the way, they come to Herod's palace. Herod says he wants to worship the baby Jesus too, but he really doesn't. He actually wants to hurt him. Still, he points the wise men along their way, and they go to worship the baby Jesus. At this point, baby Jesus isn't quite such a baby. He's probably 1 or 2 years old, and they bring gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. What every toddler wants, right? Still, they bring the gifts, and fortunately, God warns the wise men in a dream that Herod actually wants to kill the baby Jesus, so they can go home a different way. And God warns Mary and Joseph that they need to get to a safe place for a while, so they flee to Egypt. So Jesus' young life is actually in Egypt. Crazy, right? And that is the story of Jesus' birth. But the story of Jesus' birth is really just the beginning. Merry Christmas, everyone.